We'll start. Can you show me the next screen? All right. Okay. Radhika, who's Radhika is there. Okay. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Gurubhyo Namaha. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Paramanandamadhavam Paramanandamadhavam. Namaste Shankarananda Kavilasa Mahamoha. I think Janaki ji, you're sending your messages to everybody. Please direct it only to the SIF administrator, whatever. SIF. Kindly send, in case you have any difficulties, kindly send only to the SIF. Do not send to everybody. She may not hear also. Okay. The last session, we had seen verses 22 and 23. Of course, we are in chapter 4, that we should not forget. So let us chant these two verses and then we will move forward. Together, 22 and 23. Priyo priya upekshyeti akara manigastrayah srashta jivairisha srishtam rupam sadharanam trishu bharyasnusha nanandacha matetyanekada patiyogi dhiya yoshit bhidyate naswarupataha. Next verse also we did. Nanu, did we do? Did we do the next verse? Did we do? I think we did. We did. Nanu jnanani bidhyantam akarastu na bhidyate yoshidvapushyati shayo na yoshidvapushyati shayo na drishto jiva nirmitaha. So it was shown how the Jiva Srishti is manifold. The example of the money was taken. Money, a precious jewel. The jewel is one, yet we are able to have different feelings about it. It becomes an object of like, prayer. It becomes an object of dislike, apriya, and then it can be an object of what we may say nonchalance, neither like nor dislike, just a udasina bhava, just plainly looking at it without like or dislike, what I said as nonchalance. Yeah. So the object is one, and the feelings that it can evince from us are many. Priya is for somebody who wants it and who was able to get it. Apriya is for one wants it but doesn't get it. You must be remembering that old story which we all study in our childhood. The grapes that the fox is not able to get. It says these grapes are no good. They're sour. Isn't it? So that is Jiva Srishti. And that upeksha is for a vairagi. So you see here what is vairagya. Vairagya is neither like nor dislike. Even for the object to evince a dislike, then the object has to hold your attention. So likes and dislikes are when the mind holds the object. It does not mean that when you say there is no like and dislike that vairagi should have it. Then only is exhibiting vairagya. It's not like that. But the point to be noted here, that the likes and dislike absent state, that also the object can evince. So in this way, the Jiva Srishti was pointed out. But still, the manifoldness of Jiva Srishti is not expressed in just these three bhavas, like, dislike, and nonchalance. Manifold is many. This is only three. And therefore, in order to explain the manifold nature of Jiva Srishti, the example of one Yoshit lady. It can be man also. Example 1, Yoshit. How she is considered differently by different people. She could be Bharya, a wife. She could be Snusha, a daughter-in-law. She could be Nananda. Nananda is sister-in-law. She could be a Yata, brother-in-law's wife. She could be a Mata, mother. So here again, you see the object is one, but the utter manifoldness of it is explained, which doesn't come out in that money, because money is an inert object. With respect to inert object, you can have a like or a dislike, or you can have, I don't care. But human beings, you can have n number of relationships. And therefore, the manifoldness of Jiva Srishti, the Jiva's creation, comes out in this example. And how does the manifoldness happen? The manifoldness does not happen because of the lady. Like how in the money, that jewel is one. It is created by Ishvara. When we say it is created by Ishvara, we say the Panchamahabhutas is created by Ishvara. Of course, the money you did not create. Diamond, I hope we say artificial diamonds also. But yet when we say diamond, the natural diamond is Ishvara Srishti. Right? With respect to inert, it is that object, sadharanam, is created by Ishvara. But the variety is created by all of us, by the kind of interaction, by the kind of association we have with it. In the same way, the Yoshit, the lady, is created by Ishvara. In the sense created by Ishvara, what we mean is that created by the Lord, because the body, etc., we have not created. It is part of the world. In that way, it is Ishvara Srishti. But then, the Pratiyogi Dhi makes all the difference. Dhi means the buddhi, the thought. Pratiyogi is that relationship here. So when I say bharya, wife, lady is one, but the wife is with respect to the relationship of husband. Suppose I am husband, then she becomes bharya, wife. So what is she? There is one thing called as essential she, and another is the she with respect to me. That essential she is Ishvara Srishti, or the essential he is Ishvara Srishti. But husband is Jiva Srishti. And that Pratiyogi Dhi is with me. It's not there. The Yoshit is outside. In the case of money also, you see the money is outside. But like, dislike and all those things, they are all internal creations. The same way the lady is outside, but the Pratiyogi Dhi, because of which the lady appears as wife or mother or sister-in-law or mother-in-law, all those things, that internal relationship, that Pratiyogi Dhi, Pratiyogi relationship, Dhi, the thinking, the relationship thought, that is here. Yes, that is true. A lady is a lady only, isn't it? She was there even before you came to know her. And then afterwards, your parents or you yourself decided that we are going to be husband and wife. It's very interesting. Till that, in the Indian tradition, they have that Mangalya and all those things. No? The moment that person, that man puts a Mangalya and tries that 3 knot or whatever, 3 or 2, tries the 3 knot, and then the drum and all those things over, and everybody puts that. Immediately the feeling comes, now I am wife. 1 second before, that feeling is not there. How interesting. How easy to create a thought, you see. And how easy to drop it also. So that Pratiyogi Dhi is in ourself, even though the object is outside. And that way, Jiva Srishti becomes manifold. So I may have, with respect to that lady, daughter. Another person can have, with respect to the lady, wife. And then the feeling is totally different. It may be one love only. Here again you see very interesting. It is all love. Bharya, Snusha, Nananda, Yata, Mata. Wife, daughter-in-law, sister-in-law, brother-in-law's wife, mother. Love is one. But can you see how the love becomes so varied? Or not? The kind of love, I think somewhere Kalidasa or somewhere, I don't know who says that. He says the way you embrace your wife and the way you embrace your daughter are very different. Embrace may be the same, But that feeling is so different. So even though love is one, the pratiyogi dhi that we have, the relationship that we have, that changes the whole context of the shade on the contour of the love. And that is what is brought out very clearly in the example of one lady but being termed so variously. And therefore, yoshit bhidyate, the lady becomes different. Na swarupataha, not in her essential nature. That swarupa is Ishvara Srishti, but the difference is in Jiva Srishti. Okay, Ishvara Srishti, creation of the Lord. The Dvaita Srishti, Dvaita, which is the manifestation of the Lord. Jiva Srishti, the Dvaita, which is the manifestation of the Jiva. Based on this, a question was taken up, and that was the last verse that we saw. Nanu jnanani bidyantam. Jnanani means thoughts here. The cognition. Jnanani is cognition, what we say knowledge. Bharya is a cognition. Bharya, wife. Snusha, daughter-in-law, is a cognition. Nananda is a cognition. Sister-in-law. Snusha, daughter-in-law, sorry. Bharya, Snusha, Nananda, Yata. So, in this way, let there be a difference. No issues. Jnanani bhidyantam, agreed. You are saying that because of pratiyogi di, the way I look at that lady is very different. Accepted. No issues. But then you said swarupataha, in nature nothing changes, isn't it? Akarastu na bhidyate. You are talking of jiva srishti, creation. Creation is a solid thing. Creation is something solid, mountain, tree, the solid things. Thoughts are very superfluous. Notions, let there be difference. But do you think that should necessitate you to posit a thought as though that there is something called jiva srishti? Srishti is too big a word. Come on. Jnanani bidyantam. Akarastu na bhidyate. Just because you say daughter-in-law, just because you say wife, has anything happened to her actually? To say Srishti. Anything happened to her? Mother. Daughter. Okay? Anything, mother. The moment you say mother, one horn comes from the center of her forehead. The moment somebody sees daughter, horn gone. If something like that, any new appendage comes in that body, akara in that, then I will accept that there is a creation of the individual. You built a home, created something new. You made upma. You made something new. My upma is very different from your home upma. There is a difference. That jiva srishti I understand. But you are telling daughter, mother-in-law, sister-in-law, these are all jiva srishti, jiva srishti. What exactly is there called as srishti? That is not clear. Jnanani bidyantam. Let the thoughts be different. Yes. Pratiyogi di and all you said. It will be different. But because that there is difference in the relationship in the head, do you think that something has happened to wife, something happened to that lady to call jiva srishti? Does the term srishti is valid here in this context? That is a question. Atishayaha jiva nirmitaha na drishtaha. 24. Atishayaha jiva nirmitaha na drishtaha. Atishaya means extra. Something little more atishaya. extra. What I said in the horn or something like that. Nothing like that we see. Therefore, the objection here is for the usage of the word srishti in the context of the jiva srishti. Okay. Now, to explain this, the author now shows two categories, each one of them quite valid. It is not that the jiva srishti has got a lesser validity than ishva srishti. So one is an outer, another is an inner. One inner is a manomiyi, he calls that. Of course, in the context of the lady, mamsamayi. So what he means by mamsamayi is physical. The internal creation and the external creation. He brings these concepts very clearly. In few verses, he takes to develop that and shows how both of them are equally valid. And in fact, the Manomaya Srishti has got a greater hold to us. It has a greater impact to us. And therefore, its validity to me is certainly far higher. How we will see now. Okay? So let us take the verse and we will see. Maivam mamsamayi yoshit Kachidanya manomayi Mamsamaya abhedepi Bhidyate hi manomayi Maivam mamsamayi yoshit Kachidanya manomayi Maivam. Break the sandhi there. Maivam ma evam. Ma evam means what? That argument what you put, that jiva nirmitaha kaschid atishayaha na drishyate. The jiva created, suppose daughter means horn, wife, one more year from the back. The kaschid, nothing is seen, you said. That argument is not true. Ma evam. Akara bedaha nasti. Ityevam ma akshipatu. That there is no akara beda and therefore there is nothing called jiva srishti. This argument don't put. This is not valid. Why? Mamsamayi yoshit kaschit. Agreed. There is a mamsamayi yoshit. Mamsamayi made of flesh. The lady, external, constituted of flesh and blood and nerves and bones, skin. Yes, there is somebody like that. That is there. But Anya Manomayi. Anya Manomayi, there is a different, like how there is something called as physical lady, in the same way there is something called mental lady. Okay, so Mamsamaya abhedevi, Mamsamayaha abhedev api. So what do you mean? Even though there is non-difference in the Mamsamayi lady, the physical in the external lady, daughter, daughter-in-law, sister-in-law, mother. Among these various Manomayi, That Mamsamaya, there is no difference. Yes, I agree to that. Nothing extra is added physically. But then, Bhidyatehi Manomayi. There is a difference in the mental feeling I have about that lady. There is. That is undeniable. Meaning what he's trying to tell, these two are equally valid. That is what he's trying to tell. What two are equally valid? The physical lady is as valid as the mental lady. The physical man is as valid as a mental man. Now let me stick to lady. Too many examples, we should not confuse us. So when I see that lady as daughter, and when you see that lady as wife, daughter, wife, in that physical lady, Mamsamayi lady, there's no difference. But in the mental lady that we perceive, there is a lot of difference. Daughter, daughter-in-law, there is a difference. Sister, sister-in-law, there is a difference. That is undeniable. Now, when we say that is undeniable, what we mean is that feeling what I have becomes inextricably part of the lady what I perceive. I cannot differentiate. Mentally, I may differentiate lady, then sister-in-law, lady, daughter, lady, daughter-in-law. I can distinguish. But the moment I see the lady, of course, when I'm associated with her, idea will come daughter. Why that happens, let me tell you the rahasya here. It is like this. What is the object that I see? Careful, important question. What is the object that I see? What is a big question, Samji? I see any object. Even though I say that I see the object, do I see the object? Or do I see the thought of the object? Please think. I'm talking of me. What do I see? Do you see your actual husband, or do you see the husband in your head? The wife in your head? I mean thought. What do you see? We really speaking do not see any object. Do not hear any sound. Do not smell anything. And that is why when you have nose block and this and that, and the food is there, and they tell it is very nice, fragrant payasam they have put. What is that? In Kashmir they have that kesar. No, it's called kesar. Saffron. They put saffron, and it is so fragrant. They say like that. And if your rose is blocked, you have nothing of that. That itself tells you what? That you never see the object as it is. You never see the object per se. You only see the object as occasioned by your thought. Manomayam bhuvanam. A great saint by name Thiruvalluvar, the Tamil tradition, He says very nicely. He says, சுவை ஒளி ஊறு ஓசை நாற்றம் இவை ஐந்தின் வகை தறிவான் கட்டே உலகு. These are the 5 tastes. The light, or what do you call, form. Uru is the touch. Osai is the sound. Natram is the smell. The 5. If you have this, then you have the world. Meaning, if your faculties are intact, you have the world. Otherwise, you don't have the world. In other words, the world that you see is only a creation of your faculty. If this you are able to accept, this you are able to accept means what? There is the world. Nobody says no. We are not objecting to the world being there, because without the world being there, where is the mental world? There is a physical world. But the problem or the point is, you only see the mental world. You have no experience of the physical world. Please accept that. Meaning, first of all, you see only a human world. Clear? Any objections to that? You don't see an animal world. What do you mean you don't see animal world? Suppose you have the eyes of a snake. Example, a snake can see ultraviolet and infrared rays. The world the snake sees will be very different from your world. First of all, we have an experience of a human world. That is first point. Second point, even in the human world, I experience a personal world. And that is why your opinion of me very much varies from her opinion of me or his opinion of me. Why? Because none of us experience the actual world. We only have a mental world. First of all, we all together as a human species, Homo sapiens, we experience a human world. And in that human world, my experience of you is not as you are exactly. My experience of you is a mental world. So, you know what happens when the thought perceives the object. The point will come up. When the thought perceives the object, when the thought takes the form of an object. Right? You know what happens there? The thought is nothing but consciousness. Because what is thought? Thought is an envelope over the inner consciousness, correct? Antakarana, what is Antakarana? Sakshi is their consciousness, and the envelope over that consciousness is mind. You all know that, is it not? Annamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, etc., etc. And finally, there is a consciousness. And what is mind? Mind is a covering of the consciousness, so to say, an envelope of the consciousness, like how the pot envelops the space. That is to say, it is not a true envelope, but envelope eva envelope, so to say. Eva is so to say, so as though. All right. So when I say world, say for example, I see this person X. So the thought takes the form of X, but inside thought is consciousness. So what is an object actually? The object is consciousness, the inner consciousness. Careful. The object is the inner consciousness fashioned in the form of an object. Because thought takes the object form. Within the thought is consciousness. So when I say thought takes the form of the object that you are, that consciousness takes that form. Are you getting? It is like this. Imagine. Now, this is my watch. So what I'm doing, I am holding the watch and I'm closing it with my hand. Now, what is the shape of the hand? The shape of the hand, inside shape of the hand, is that of the watch. Right? In the same way, the thought has taken the form of you. External you, no doubt. But bringing it inside, the thought has taken that form. But within the thought, what is there? It seems you are there, but consciousness in your shape is there. You are there here as a thought. No, Samji, that space outside I see you. Outside is space, na? That space is also inside only finally. The space is inside. The object as present in that x-axis, y-axis space is also inside the thought. And the object you is nothing but you as that form, no doubt, physical form, you. It has, the thought has taken your form only, not some other form. But within that is consciousness in that form. Like how the hand has taken the form of the watch. Is this clear? This is a very important point. Then only you will understand this. So you are there in the thought. Yes. You are there in the thought means what? Your form is there in the thought. But what is inner that form? What gives that form? Like this. That form, what gives that form is consciousness. You give the form, but the inner material of that form is consciousness. And that is why Pujya Gurudev is nice, very nicely he will define thought. Thought is equal to object plus consciousness. Have you heard this? Non-technical, simple thought. Gurudev used to say, what is mind? Mind is a flow of thoughts. What is thought? Thought is equal to consciousness plus object. And what is object? Object is nothing but name and form. And what is the content of that object? Is consciousness. Like wave and water. Wave is made up of water. Right? But the form is only wave. The content is consciousness. So, in other words, what is happening is, every person whom I see, I have made a mental form which is filled with consciousness. A balloon filled with air. The air is consciousness, the balloon is an object. The form is a wave, the content is water. Any object for that matter is constituted of two things. One is the form which is given by the world, external world. Another is the content which is consciousness. And that form is what? The form is that thought. This whole thing is thought. Because you are there outside only, is it not? I have not pulled you inside and brought you inside. Isn't it? What has a thought done? The thought has just taken the form of you and brought it inside. That's all. Because you have not gotten inside actually. You are outside only. Mountain I see. Does the mountain get into my head? No. The form of the mountain as a thought is there. And within that is consciousness. Now, why we are discussing so much about this is that thought has got an impact on that consciousness. So when I say daughter, what is happening? Where is the daughter now? That daughter is in that thought. Which thought? Which has taken the form of that lady, Yoshit. So where is the daughter? The daughter is there in that thought. which is holding that consciousness. And therefore, daughter is equal to daughter thought, which is enveloping consciousness. And therefore, that lady is never a lady for me. In case I am connected to that lady. Otherwise, it's just a lady. That's a different matter. We are talking of a lady, which whom I see as daughter and you see as wife. Consciousness inside. But the thought which is making that form of that lady, that thought itself has got the daughter inside. Normal, any other lady is nothing but that lady. That's all, nothing. It has no connection. But this lady is my daughter, unavoidably my daughter, because she is my daughter. And therefore, even when the thought takes the form of that lady, it's consciousness plus that lady thought, but that lady thought is not just lady thought. That lady thought is daughter thought. So daughter thought, not lady thought anymore, you see. So daughter thought having consciousness inside. So if I may say balloon example, what is a balloon here? For a general, simple, unknown lady. But for daughter, it is daughter. So it is daughterness which is there in that lady form. Inside that it is consciousness. So who are you? Suppose I say, who are you? The daughter, who are you? She is daughter. What Vedanta is telling you is that Vedanta is telling you in this there are three things. One is Ishvara Srishti, another is Jiva Srishti, another is Paramarthika Swarupa. Three things are there. What three things? In that cognition of daughter, there are three things. Ishvara Srishti, Jiva Srishti, and Paramarthika. Paramarthika, absolute nature. What is absolute nature here? Consciousness, which is held in that form of thought. What is Jiva Srishti? Jiva Srishti is daughter. And what is Ishvara Srishti? Within the daughter is that lady. That lady is Ishvara Srishti. So what is the world actually? The world is Ishvara Srishti plus Jiva Srishti, the substratum being consciousness. So Swamiji, all these things, why did you tell? The point is, Bhidyate hi manomai. Even though Mamsamaya, that flesh lady which is outside, okay, that is Ishvara Srishti, no doubt. But the moment you convert that Ishvara Srishti into thought, Jiva Srishti has come into play. In other words, what you actually experience is imbued with Jiva Srishti, and you can't take the Jiva Srishti away. Actually speaking, the moment you take Ishvara Srishti inside, it has become Jiva Srishti. What you see is Jiva Srishti only. And Ishvara Srishti is outside. You can't see that. You can only say Mamsamaya. There is a physical world. But the moment you take Ishvara Srishti inside, it has become Jiva Srishti, which is Manomaya. And actually our experience is only the Manomaya Prapancha. Therefore, what we actually experience inside is Jiva Srishti only. Ishva Srishti is outside. It's a kind of postulation only, finally. Of course, without that you can't have Jiva Srishti. Nobody sees a lady outside. Nobody sees a man outside. Nobody sees any world outside. Everybody sees the world inside as a thought. The moment it becomes a thought, it is Jiva Srishti. Of course, Ishva Srishti is a basis for Jiva Srishti. I am not denying Ishva Srishti, but our experience as far as thought is concerned or insight is concerned is only Jiva Srishti. And therefore, this objection, because there is nothing new created, therefore there is nothing called as Jiva Srishti is not valid. Why? What we experience is only consciousness appearing as Jiva Srishti, consciousness appearing as daughter. You cannot avoid it. Which daughter has got the basis in Ishva Srishti, which is outside. Ishvara Srishti is outside. The cognition of Ishvara Srishti as inside is Jiva Srishti. Okay. The moment Ishvara Srishti becomes a thought, comes within a thought structure, then it becomes Jiva Srishti. And therefore, Jiva Srishti is absolutely valid. And it is that Jiva Srishti which gives, for that consciousness, which it envelops the sense of daughter. It's consciousness only. But this consciousness we are seeing as daughter. This consciousness, somebody else sees it as wife. Because what is inside that object? Inside that object, consciousness plus object, no? Inside is only consciousness. And therefore, the thought gives its impact upon the consciousness, leaves its impact upon the consciousness, makes that bundle of consciousness or form of consciousness into a daughter or into a wife or a daughter-in-law. Therefore, there is impact of thought on what I see as an object. And therefore, even though nothing new is created outside, something new is created inside. I am not seeing it as consciousness, is it not? I am seeing it as daughter. That itself means what? That there is an impact of thought on the consciousness, making it a daughter. For another person, there is the impact of that thought on that consciousness, making it a wife. For another person, there's an impact of that thought, making it as a sister-in-law. Vidyate hi manomayi. Right? And therefore, Jiva Srishti is very, very valid. Nobody can deny Jiva Srishti. The thought has an impact on the object. See how powerful this thought is. Thought has an impact on consciousness, making that object the object that you fashion it out. It is actually the thought-made world, the Jiva Srishti, that we ever experience internally. Okay? So can we read this verse again? This is a very important verse. Maivam mamsamayi yoshit kachidanya manomayi mamsamaya abhedepi bhidyate hi manomayi. To summarize, Maevam, Just because something physically has not been created, to deny that there is Jiva Srishti is not acceptable. There is Jiva Srishti. How? Yoshit Kachid Anya. There, Yoshit Kachit. There is a lady outside. But then Anya Manomayi. That lady, when she comes inside, is very different. Manomayi. Mamsamayaha Abhedepi. Even though in that Mamsamaya physical object, there is no difference at all. But the moment it comes inside for each one of us, Bhidyatehi Manomayi, it becomes different. That lady, you see it as daughter. He sees wife. Why? That thought has given that coloration to that consciousness. Bhidyatehi Manomayi differs. Therefore, Manomaya Srishti, which we all experience, is different for each one of us. So the world that each one of us see is very, very different. None of us have the same world. Of course, the common elements are there, but each world is different. And that's why we both can't see eye to eye. Sometimes we see eye to eye and then we wonder how long we will be continuing to see eye to eye. We should give freedom for others to see with their own eyes. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Anybody has got any questions?
It impacts consciousness. Consciousness can vary, constantly.
When I say impact consciousness, when I say, the question is, does the thought impact consciousness? I'm using such words as impact, color, and all those things. But that impact, one minute, that impact and that coloration is only vyavaharika in nature, not paramarthika. Vyavaharika. Does the wave impact water? No. But that water appears as that wave. In the same way, consciousness appears as daughter. The thought gives that daughterish feeling to that consciousness. There is no real change. There is an apparency about the whole thing. We accept that. We have this paramarthika, vyavaharika, pratibhasika. This is vyavaharika. Like how the water appears as a wave, as a bubble. Does water change into wave and bubble? No. The waviness to the water is an apparent phenomena. Phenomenon. Okay. Clear? Somebody has got a question there? No. I can see there's a number 1 is marked there. All right. Anybody? Somebody raised a hand? Nothing. 3 people. Kindly use your computer to raise your hand, please. Srinivasan, I can see the hand is raised. Who are all the people who raised hand? Ravichi and Ashaji, I see. Srinivasanji. 2 of them have raised hands. Okay. Srinivasanji first. It is there. Yeah. Last but one.
Hari Om.
Yes.
Swamiji, does a Jivan Mukta see the things as they are?
There is a sound. Babre. From here? Sound is coming from here? I can speak to them. Okay. Does a Jivan...
Swamiji, does a Jivan Mukta see the things as they are? I mean, perceive the objects?
See, a Jivan Mukta is like a carpenter.
Okay.
What I mean is that, does a carpenter see the table that he has fashioned, or does a carpenter see the wood?
Okay. He will
The
see the wood.
The carpenter sees the wood. But when he sees the wood also, because he has got eyes, he will see the table. But just because the eyes see the table does not mean he does not see the wood. The carpenter he says good quality wood, rose wood. I don't know where you got that from. Must be costly. Or you would say this good teak wood. It will stand at least for 300, 400 years now. Very good, very good. Now these and all the carpenter will see. So a Jivan Mukta is like the carpenter. And therefore, he gives importance to the Paramarthika Drishti and not to the Vyavaharika Drishti. It doesn't mean he doesn't say Vyavaharika Drishti, but he doesn't give importance to that. In ignorance, we give importance to the Vyavaharika Drishti and we have no idea of Paramarthika Drishti. That is our problem. Okay?
So he will see the lady as a lady.
He will see the lady, he will see the daughter, and more importantly, he will see that it is consciousness.
Okay.
He will give validity to Paramarthika Drishti and continue to perceive the Vyavaharika Drishti.
Okay. Yes, sir.
See, it is all in correcting the thinking. Thinking is corrected. At this point of time, I only see the lady. And if the lady is my daughter, I see the lady as daughter. That's all. I have no idea of consciousness.
Okay.
For him, the consciousness shines more brighter than these two, lady as well as the
Daughter.
So Ishvara Srishti and Jiva Srishti do not shine as bright as Paramarthika.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
All right. Next question, please. Ashaji.
I have two questions. One is Jiva Srishti Pratibhasasi Srishti or Vyavaharika? I mean, Vyavaharika will see Pratibhasasi.
That point will come in the next verse.
Okay. And the second question is the Dvaita that we are talking about. Is this a Dvaita between the Ishvara Srishti and the Jiva Srishti?
No, here the word Dvaita means, the realm of duality.
The duality between...
The realm of duality in the sense, in Jiva Srishti, I and the perceived world.
Okay.
In Ishvara Srishti also, the perceived world and me seeing that perceived world.
So it's the Paramarthik and the Jiva Srishti. Is that Dvaita we are talking about?
No.
So this duality, when we say Advaita, we say the...
I'll do one thing. It's already getting 8:15 here. In the next session, I will take up this point. What is Dvaita which we are talking of here, and then we move forward. All right. Shall we conclude? Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Shanti हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम